In the heart of West Africa, in a place where dreams are as vast as the open sky, a young man from the Ivory Coast searched for a better life. Like so many others, he was fueled by hope, opportunity, and the chance to be something more than what he had known. But sometimes the path to a dream can turn into a trap. Lured by the promise of work, he left his home and family behind, journeying across borders, only to find himself caught in a world he never imagined. A shadowy, high-pressure scheme that preyed on ambition and trust. This is the true story of resilience in the face of deception. It's also a cautionary tale about the dark side of modern slavery in Nigeria.
Mon nom c'est Dja Guy Stéphane.
My name is Dja Guy Stéphane, young Ivorian Dida from Lakota. I will tell you a story that I experienced in Nigeria, where I was held as a slave for quite a while, last year in the month of December 2024.
Like many young Ivorians, Stéphane worked hard to support his family, balancing hopes with daily struggles.
At first, I was working at Orange and I was getting by a little. I could manage, feed my family, take care of my little needs.
Then, one day, he received a call that would change his life.
A former colleague with whom I had worked in Abidjan in 2019 to 2021 contacted me. He told me he was in Nigeria, that he was working there and that things were going well for him. He was earning well, around 500,000 to 600,000 francs per month. We kept talking. He was telling me that over there it was interesting, that I could come.
What sounded at first like a friendly suggestion would soon turn into a real possibility, but Stéphane had to act fast.
One day, late at night, he called me to tell me that there was an available position. He asked me to send my documents quickly. I gathered my documents. Even my mother, who was not in Côte d'Ivoire, sent me some papers.
While he waited for his application to be processed, Stéphane's former colleague told him that he'd have to pray for it to work. It didn't take long for his prayers to be answered, as just a week later he received a call with some good news.
A Nigerian number called me to tell me that I had been selected for a position as a store manager. They conducted an online interview which went well, and 3 days later they confirmed that I was hired.
Moving to a different country would not be easy for Stéphane. He was told that he'd need to gather 500,000 to 600,000 francs to cover expenses.
I didn't have that amount, but he advised me to find a solution. I sold everything I could. My motorcycle, my TV, practically everything at home. In the end, I gathered 600,000 to 700,000 francs, not counting my transport.
Money in hand, Stéphane boarded a bus in Abidjan that took him to Benin. There, he met a man whom his friends said would help him cross to Nigeria.
Before entering Nigeria, my friend advised me to give my money to the person helping me cross. According to him, the Nigerian police could search me and take my money. I followed his advice and handed him all my money.
They successfully crossed the border, but as it turned out, police checkpoints would be the least of Stéphane's worries.
We now had to take another vehicle, but among the two guys, one disappeared. I asked the other, "Where is he?" "He's in Benin. He went to see his girlfriend." My money, which I had given to the driver, had been handed over to them, and it was with this money that one of the guys disappeared.
Now at the mercy of his contacts and without any money, Stéphane had no choice but to carry on and hope the job that had been promised to him was legitimate.
I was told that I was going to work at the Lagos port as a warehouse manager with a salary of 550,000 CFA francs per month.
But his suspicions started to grow when he was taken to a hotel to meet his former colleague named Jules.
At night, there was a third man in the room His behavior was suspicious. They would go outside to talk and then come back. Then they told me that the money I had sent for the job application was not enough. How come it's not enough? You already have 600,000 or 700,000 CFA francs with you. No, we need 720,000 or 740,000. I connect to the hotel's Wi-Fi and send videos to my family to explain the situation. But after that, the Wi-Fi is cut off for me. I spent a sleepless night. The next morning, I tell them I want to return to Côte d'Ivoire.
After taking his money, the next thing to be taken was Stéphane's freedom.
We start arguing. Then the other guy I didn't know leaves and locks us in. I fight with Jules to try to get out, but the door is locked. If you go out, we'll shout thief and the Nigerians will attack you. I wait for their return. In the meantime, I hear their boss saying he will send people to get me. My blood starts boiling.
Angry, confused, and locked up like a prisoner, he was allowed to use the Wi-Fi to request more money from his family. He was then taken to a different hotel, where the situation took an even darker turn.
They enter with my suitcase and I stay outside. That's when I realize something is wrong and I start walking fast to escape. But they catch up with me on a motorcycle. They take me to a house, but the owner chases me away with a machete. They take me back to the hotel, make me sit down, and men start speaking to me in English. I don't understand. There are 8 of them and I am alone.
Eventually, a man started talking to him in French about online businesses and network marketing.
I didn't understand anything. He kept talking and talking until he finished his presentation. Then he told me, "Let me explain why you're here. You didn't come to work at the port."
Stéphane had been roped into an aggressive network marketing scheme known as Qnet. Essentially, he was being forced to buy a medical product called Biodis, which costs 740,000 francs.
You put it in water, drink it, and it cures you. I don't even know what exactly I was buying.
His job would then be to bring in 2 more people, who each bring in 2 more people, and so the chain of deception continues. Despite telling his new employers that he wasn't interested, Stéphane wasn't allowed to leave and was instead taken to the house.
When we arrived, it was a big rented villa. When they opened the gate and I entered, I saw more than 20 people, both men and women, who were in the same situation as me. Some girls were promised jobs in supermarkets, others in beauty salons, and so on. The boys, like me, were promised work at the port. Some were told they would work as barbers, others in fitness centers, and so on.
All of these people had fallen victim to the same scam and were now trapped. Some people came with 2 million, others with 3 million. Some even sold their land to come. Others, even after arriving, were forced to sell their land because they were told that only by doing so could they make money and be free. Many of them are still there. Conditions inside the house were inhumane, and when somebody fell ill, they found little comfort from their captors.
Okay, so after all that happened, in the first 2 or 3 days, I had a severe malaria attack and was sick for 2 weeks. I swear, for those who think people make good money in Nigeria, if I tell you what they gave me as medicine, you wouldn't believe it. But it's the truth. One of their leaders went to the bush, cut some leaves, not even cultivated plants, crushed them, and gave them to me as malaria medicine. What could I do? I didn't want to die, so I drank it the first day.
Stéphane wondered if he was going to be killed, and though he was never threatened directly, he was told he might die if he didn't take the medicine.
He told me if you don't drink it, you might die. So I drank it again, and afterward, the malaria gradually went away and I recovered.
Aside from illness, malnutrition was another problem the house's inmates had to suffer.
He said,
Water was free, so we could drink, but there was no food. When they decided to give us something to eat, they would go to the market and buy gari, a type of yellow gari different from the one in Cote d'Ivoire, and 1 kilo of gari for at least 20 to 30 people. That's how it was. Every evening at 9 p.m. if we managed to get it, otherwise if we didn't, we stayed like that. We slept like that throughout my stay there.
Refusal to work for the con men was met with further punishments and restrictions.
ils m'ont pris.
Since I refused to do the service, they blocked my phone for 2 weeks. I was not in contact with my family and I was forced to negotiate. When they gave me back my phone and I asked for permission to be released, they took my phone again while I was sleeping, along with all my papers, my ID card, and all my documents. Since December 22nd, they blocked everything. They took all my papers and kept them until January 6th.
After weeks of being confined and barely eating any food, Stéphane gave in and agreed to do the work. He was then taken to the office for training, a small villa where there were 36 other detainees, including 9 women.
J'ai accepté, je vais faire.
The other people, they were Boulez, Agnes, from all regions of Cote d'Ivoire. It was only Ivorians, no Nigerians. And how did it happen with the girls? They had their own room, a small room that couldn't even fit them. It wasn't enough. It was a room. Even its personnel couldn't sleep there, so they came to sleep in the house's hallway. We, the boys, had a room. We slept in a small living room where we were. There wasn't even a mat, no loincloth, nothing. We just lay on the tiled floor completely until they left us there. That's how it was.
A working day in the office here was anything but normal.
Des gens avec qui
At 6 a.m., they woke us up for training that lasted more than 4 hours, from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., sometimes even 11 a.m. After that, we were there, walking around the yard. We didn't go out. We couldn't go out.
Whether sick or starving, the detainees were largely left to fend for themselves. Only one of the gang's leaders was authorized to leave the office.
personne n'arrive même pas à dormir à deux.
He was authorized to go out when we needed to buy something. Those who had money, those who called their parents who had some money and wanted to buy bread to eat, it was that person we gave the money to buy even water. Okay, and all of us, we were left to ourselves. If you were sick, it was up to you. If you had health problems, it was up to you. If you were hungry, it was up to you. If you asked for something, they would say, call. I called it Plan B. What was Plan B? Call your parent to send you money so you could eat. They would send you 5,000. Your parent would send you 5,000.
It's not only the captives who are victims, their families and friends also suffer.
Rejoins ta famille.
Did the parents know at that time that you were there? You tell your parent that you are working, but simply you lost something. You create a situation. When you lost your papers, you just got your withdrawal card, so you make withdrawals. You exchange your SIM card to be able to take money for food. I'm giving you ideas on how it works. I'm explaining for those still in Cote d'Ivoire who have people who can contact them how it works.
Blinded by the prospect of a better life, hundreds, if not thousands of people have been tricked into modern-day slavery in Nigeria.
Pour défaut de...
They will tell you there's work there. You go and you're stuck. I swear to you, it's suffering. It's suffering. It's because I've been here for a little while that I have some flesh on my bones. Otherwise, if you had seen me when I first arrived back in Cote d'Ivoire, if you had made this video, then, well, I will show you videos that you will watch. Otherwise, it's not easy. It's misery. I am not the only one in this situation. There are many others. I haven't yet seen or heard that someone died there, but I know that with what I saw and what happens there could certainly be other matters, but they don't tell people.
After being refused many times to be allowed to go home, Stéphane began plotting his escape with a young boy who was also from Abidjan.
C'est vrai que c'est un thème de...
We started gathering information about certain things, how to withdraw money ourselves so we wouldn't have problem when we got out. So we collected all the information we could. For every piece of information we got, we immediately wrote it down on small pieces of paper that we hid all over in our bags and belongings.
On January 6th, 2025, the captors gave Stéphane his phone back and he told himself that he had to start working.
Ils ne disent pas aux gens.
They taught me how it worked, what I had to do, who I had to call so that they would come to work. That's how I learned the job.
But there was only ever one thing on his mind: escape.
On m'a même chassé avec eux.
So when they gave me back my phone on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, automatically in the morning, we took out our belongings. My little one and I had planned something. We said we were going to wash our clothes. We took out our clothes in the morning, saying we were going to wash our clothes and make them clean, while others were in the rooms we were behind the villa. We threw our backpack. Let me clarify, we only made a small backpack. I put a few clothes inside, and that's the backpack we threw behind the fence. We jumped over the fence using a chair that we had placed near the fence, and we climbed over the fence and ran away as fast as we could. We reached the first motorcycle taxi point in our area. When we got there, we took a motorcycle taxi. We managed to get to Benin with the help of a motorcycle taxi as well.
A friendly contact let them stay at their house in Benin.
Ils ont refusé que je...
He got me an internet subscription, and I called friends, brothers who sent me money for transportation to return to Côte d'Ivoire.
As for his fellow escapee,
Ayant qui veulent se fuir,
But my little one, with whom I fled Nigeria until today, February 20th, 2025, he is still in Benin due to lack of transportation. Okay, due to lack of transportation, he is still in Benin.
since returning to the Ivory Coast, life remains difficult for Stéphane, and he still bears the scars of his captivity.
de me laisser partir.
Now, personally, I have a problem. While we were there, I developed an illness that makes it difficult for me to move. I have a foot problem, I can hardly move. So, since I arrived, I haven't been working. I even lost all the work I was doing here. Even if I could get a job again, I can't work because I had a problem due to the bad food I had there.
He also has no way to help his friend in Benin.
Si vous m'avez...
I can't walk, I can't move. So it's difficult for me to help him until now. So he's still there.
So what are you doing for yourself and for him? What do you want for yourself and for him?
Ok. Donc,
For me, what I would like for myself and for him, personally, I have lost everything. Because making this journey caused me to have nothing left, whether in terms of money or work. I have nothing left, and there is a health problem. So if the state could help me get treated and then find me some work so that I can get my life back on track. Okay, and my little one who is there, we could send him money so that he can come to Côte d'Ivoire to find him a job so that he can also get his life back on track, because currently I exchanged with him and now he has fallen ill and he's not feeling well. So it's difficult for him. Okay, it's very difficult for him. At any time he calls me, he sends me messages. He doesn't have a phone. He managed by borrowing phones from people he meets. Since he has my number written on a piece of paper, he sends me messages on WhatsApp. So, if we could help him return to his country so that he can reunite with his family safe and sound.
Despite how things may seem, Stéphane and his young friend are some of the lucky ones. There are still many Ivorians kept locked up and forced to work in Nigeria.
ils viennent pour juste dissuader les gens.
As I said, in my office there were 36 with me. That makes 36 Ivorians in the office where I was. But he stayed there longer. The information he gave me, he has more information because they, from time to time, went out to do training in other offices. They were taken for training. So, he told me that there are more than 60 offices like mine. So I think there are still Ivorians there.